So I hope that we can partner with you in that particular thing. Now, finally, let me talk about Bayelsa State, because this is really, it's an investment summit. It's how do we attract investment to Bayelsa to build the kind of economy and the kind of state that we desire to see. So the federal government is doing many things to support and to strengthen the e-commerce ecosystem. So what can Bayelsa State do, or what should Bayelsa State do to tap into these opportunities and ensure that this ICT sector and the opportunities that the e-commerce presents are ones that Bayelsa State can leverage on? This is what we call a case file. We've done a case file for all the states in Nigeria. And this is Bayelsa State today. What you will see is this is a GIS map of Bayelsa. It shows you the white areas. I hope you can see. The white areas show you the parts of Bayelsa State that are covered by ICT infrastructure, and the brown or the brownish areas show you the parts that are not covered by ICT infrastructure. The colors that you see there also represent the population in those areas. So Bayelsa is about 80% of the state is covered by a mobile signal, and that is just voice. It's 2G, primarily voice, very slow internet. Large parts of the state don't have any 3G coverage at all, and 3G is what you need for broadband and internet connectivity. About 294 2G base stations, less than 300 kilometers of fiber. It is true that Bayelsa State, a lot of the state is water, so you can't have fiber, it's satellite in many of these areas, but we need several multiples of fiber in Bayelsa, much more than this today. You have only 8 postal outlets, 5 post offices, 1 postal agency, and 3 post shops. This infrastructure is nowhere near what you need to make Bayelsa a smart state. If you're going to be rolling out cameras all across Bayelsa State, beyond Yenagoa, you need many more than 294 base stations. And that's what we're here to tell you. That if you want to be a smart state, you have to be a smart state. You need to pay attention to the infrastructure in the state. Out of the 2 million people in Bayelsa, 2 million or so people in Bayelsa, 20% of them have no voice coverage at all. You can't get them on the telephone. And when we say that a telephone is a bank account, it is a school, it's a form of entertainment as it is today, everybody must have a telephone. And it's not just having a telephone, it's having a telephone that you can have access to the internet. So we're here today with members of the Broadband Council and of course the network operators, MTN, Etisalat and Airtel, to work with you to see how do we improve the infrastructure in Bayelsa State, where the governor has shown very clearly that he has very high aspirations for ICT, very visionary government, and one that is actually a state where we can actually demonstrate the power of ICTs, because it is small and it is controllable enough. We can demonstrate the power of ICTs, and we can make Bayelsa an exemplar for other states to follow. So what would this partnership entail? First of all, like I said, we want to focus on improving the state's infrastructure, improving your connectivity, using the full range of technologies, satellite, fiber, microwave, TV white spaces. We need to extend the physical presence of the state government to citizens through the postal outlets, because postal outlets, they've been there for 100 years. They're trusted. So people would love to, they can do their business, their financial business in the post office. They can actually pick up their goods and services in the post office. But we need many more post offices in Bayelsa today to do what we need to do. We need to get to the point where we're increasing the digital awareness and digital confidence of every single Bayelsan. So we want to extend our digital awareness campaign to Bayelsa State, going all around the state and talking about the benefits of the internet. We also need to ensure that you increase the adoption of ICT by your small businesses. It is proven. A business that is on the internet can very easily triple the size of their business simply by being on the internet, because at that point, it's not just your street or your state that is your world. It is actually the world. Once you're on the internet, you've got a website, very simple website, the market, the world becomes your market. And we've seen this happen with some of the companies that we're working with, where their revenue is tripled simply by having a very simple, published and informed website. And of course, we need to work with you to develop the state's human capital. Again, I'm pleased to say that as we move into our digital jobs initiative, which we're working with the Rockefeller Foundation, and this is basically looking at how we can create jobs that are dependent on the internet economy. Let me just give you a very quick example. In March of last year, we trained 2,000 in Abuja and in Lagos. We trained 2,000 Nigerians on what we call microworks and e-lancing. These are very simple platforms where if you have a computer or mobile phone, you can actually earn money by simply doing things like, oh, check the spellings on this website, do a simple program for me. We trained 2,000 Nigerians. Within 2 weeks of that training, about a small percentage of them became very active on these platforms, and they earned $125,000 amongst them. All they had was a PC and an internet connection. Now, what we did was a pilot, and it attracted the attention of the Rockefeller Foundation. They're now working with us to roll this out into every single state in Nigeria. And we hope that as we come to Bayelsa State, you will welcome us to train 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 young Bayelsans to be active on these digital platforms and begin to earn money and be their own bosses. So I hope I've given you a sense of the importance of the ICT sector, the importance of e-commerce, and again, to congratulate the governor for thinking about ICTs as you look at your investment forum. But importantly, I hope I've been able to demonstrate to you that we're still scratching the surface. Sorry, I must also mention the fact that ICTs is a very important part of your security infrastructure. So if Bayelsa State is a safe state today, and it is not because we don't have criminals in Bayelsa State, it is not because there's saints living in Bayelsa State, it is because there's a security infrastructure that is in place to ensure that if you commit a crime, you are caught. And that's the biggest deterrent to crimes in this country. So security is a very important part, and having that ICT infrastructure to support your security infrastructure, your education infrastructure, your business infrastructure is critically important. And we want you to work with us to ensure that you get the right kind of investments in the state as far as infrastructure is concerned. When you build this infrastructure, everything you're talking about becomes much, much easier. Thank you very much.
And thank you, Dr. and Mrs. Omobala Johnson. I'm going to ask you, please, if you don't mind, to join me on stage here so that we can drill down into some of the issues that you've mentioned. Now, I'd also like to call the panel for the Q&A session. So if you hear your name, please come. I think you've already been mic'd, I hope. Mr. Mark Essien, the MD and founder of Hotels.ng. Mark Essien, please join us. If you're here, the MD and founder of Hotels.ng, Mr. Chibuzo Ene, who's the MD of Edge Financial Systems Limited. Mr. Chibuzo Ene, please join us as well. That's Mark Essien and Chibuzo Ene of the MD of Edge Financial Systems. Mr. Denzel Amagbe Kentebe, the MD of Medallion Communications, is represented by Ikechukwu Namani, who is the president of Medallion Communications. So please, Mr. Ikechukwu Namani, please join us. And then from right here in Bayelsa, Mr. Ebinimi Tebepa, who is the SSA to the Governor of Bayelsa State on Science and Technology. It's quite appropriate that you join us on this stage. And then finally, Mr. Mitchell Elegbe, the MD of Interswitch. It would be good for you to join us as well, because lots has been said about cashless societies. So please, if you're here, Mr. Mitchell Elegbe from the MD of Interswitch, Mr. Mark Essien, Chibuzo Ene, and Ikechukwu Namani, and the SSA to the Governor of the Bayelsa State on Science and Technology. Do we have everyone here? Whilst we're waiting for the last people, I'd like to just recognize the presence of Dr. Stephen Oru, who is the Honorable Minister of Niger Delta Affairs, ladies and gentlemen. A round of applause for Dr. Stephen Oru, who has joined us here. I think we're going to begin because I don't like pauses. So if you don't mind, if you just take this one here, I think, so that I can look at all of you. And I think I'm going to swap here and sit next to the Honorable Minister. Oh, so much to say, so little time. That was a wonderful presentation. Thank you very much. Let me ask you a very simple question first. It sounds like there is a digital... Oh, the governor wants to come on. 1 second, please. Could Chief Blessing Zaga join us, who's a specialist in ICT? Chief Blessing Zaga as well. Let's fill some of these chairs. Chief Blessing Zaga, if you're here, please join us as well. and also the Commissioner for Technology as well.